Good evening, darlings. Here I am. We are going to have a chat. I last spoke to you for the full moon for Patreon. We had a lovely chat with Sunai, otherwise known as Janus. I didn't know his real name. So that was lovely, but I had no idea until a few days ago, and I've only looked into it right now, that as we were having that chat in the French African island next to Madagascar, we have Mayotte, and Mayotte was hit by the storm Kai Do. So, doe, a deer, a female deer, Ray, how's it go again? Doe, a deer, a female deer, Ray, a long, long way to know. So that's not right. Anyway, doe is a female deer, and we know that Taurus is the deer, and we know that the moon goddess Diana is playing the role of this moon exalted in Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, and we've got this currently. So Venus was conjunct to Pluto for the rising of Notre Dame, and now it was very powerful. We had that moon in the sky next to Jupiter. I was looking at it and had no idea that there was this storm going on. So I've just put onto Patreon video that I did with Lars in May 2023. So Lars has been off Facebook and off the circuit since that time. And at that time, I was catching up with him, and we did a video for my site that you could buy, which I have now added onto Patreon for all my paid members. And it was an incredible, we spent 1 hour 44, interesting, 1,444. So we've got the 144, it's 144 minutes long, and it is all about the earth mirrored, signs mirrored down on earth. So it's basically all about the equinoxes, all about the solstices, and it shows us the cradle, the beginning in Africa begins right here, the 0 point, the reset, Gemini, and the island that has just been hit by the cyclone Kai Do. So roe, doe, a deer, a female deer, and a roe is a stag. This is your Chiron. We've got Chiron's last return coming back next year. Chiron is ending in in Pisces, just as Neptune went forward on. So this happened on the 14th, and Neptune went direct. Neptune went direct at the same time as Mars went retrograde. But Neptune is now direct on the whale's tail, and the last time that Neptune was in Pisces, I covered in a video the other day, was in the Victorian era. So we've got Neptune going direct, Jupiter rules Pisces, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and yesterday the Sun went into Sagittarius. So we're going to have a look at all this. So this is in Mayotte, Madagascar, and of course we've got Moon and Jupiter on the Silver Gate, right with Jupiter on the bullseye. Jupiter will be fully on the bullseye for Valentine's Day, and Mars is in Cancer, and the Moon rules Cancer. So Mars is taking that energy of hitting the island. The island is always that bullseye energy. It's the eye, it's the island, it's the breast of Venus, everything I've been explaining for Notre Dame. So this is the Silver Gate gap, and Moon rules Cancer and Mars rules Scorpio. And at that time we had the Sun still in Scorpio, but now that has become the 13th sign of Ophiuchus, So if I click the sun, it says it's in Ophiuchus, and it's right on the sting of that tail. So between the 14th, we then had the full moon. So we had on the 15th, the day after, that sun right on the knee of Hercules, destroying the breast, the moon, the cyclone, 200 miles an hour winds, over 1,000 people killed. They said that it's the poorest place in France with people of salaries of only 900 a month. Well, myself and most of the people in this, where I live in France, nobody makes more than that. So, you know, France is pretty much, we're on the scale. The people who work for the government, they get nice, that's why everyone in France, nobody that are business people in France, they make sure they get nice functional government jobs, which is what everybody does, so that they just get money every month. Nobody works for themselves in France. I'm a rare person. The only people that do, the English people come to France and they make up their own work and their own business, and otherwise French people don't know how to do that. It's part of how they were programmed at school. So the sun is in Scorpio, ruled by Mars. Mercury is in Scorpio. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. We've got the South Node in Virgo, and this happened over the solstice. So I did a little post. I've got lots of posts to show you. I've been writing everything down so I can remember everything. So Storm Kaido, instead of Ro, Cairo, masculine deer, Doe, female deer. Deer, Taurus, moon goddess, Diana killed, so stag takes her place to rise Will.i.am. Will.i.am is born in this silver gap with his sun on the wand of Orion. Jupiter will be on the wand of Orion. Here's Jupiter. Jupiter will be there for the birthday. So the birthday of Prince William, we're going to have the sun and Jupiter conjunct on the wand, and Jupiter will have just moved into Gemini as the sun moves into Gemini, but in the morning of the 21st, the sun is in Taurus. So Will.i.am, born in Silvergate, Silverstone. Remember, we've covered that. Silverstone, the racing course circuit, is in the shape of the constellation of Taurus. That's why we've got Yellowstone. It's why we have doctors that wear that thing that listens to the heart. It is the constellation of Taurus is your Y. Yellowstone, where I live, they've got buffaloes, they've got Carshett City, CC, and, you know, we've got buffaloes, we've got cowboys, we've got buffaloes, and the head, the capital of this region, well, there's Orsh, the Lion Gates, but there's also Miranda, the Tempest, where they have the every year country music meeting. So, you know, we're all going back to Yellowstone. They killed the Indians. We've got Jupiter currently on the Philosopher's Stone right here, making a square to the Indians, Saturn at home in Aquarius. So Chido, so I say Chido, but it's the same writing. It's your Chi, it's your energy, it's the female energy. Kai-do, your Kai, your Chai. Chido has only one meaning in Mexico, and that is cool. People use it every day. So the winter solstice coming up, full moon, 14th of December, so it was on the 15th, moon Jupiter on the bullseye. As Gemini is over Africa, Madagascar, Mayotte, the island, Brest, Seine in the Silvergate. I'm sure if you go watch that Disney film, Madagascar, that I've never seen, there will be loads of clues. Disney, Madagascar, the film, images. So the lion, the hippo, the zebra. So they're basically just showing us the new gap, because as we end the age of the mutable cross, we go from, so that was for the Cairo, that was the, so this comes from the video, which funny that I posted that today. This comes from the video. I had the subtitles made for it as well. So the 0 point of humanity, there we have the winter solstice where we are now, and Gemini is right on top. So the cradle of Earth, Gemini is over here in the spring, summer, and for the winter, we've got Gemini right over. So there's Gemini, the cradle, on this side of Africa. And now we've just had the new 0 point, because Mercury and Jupiter, they want to keep the fixed cross. We're in the gap. And if we look, so here we've got the images of Lars from that. So we're looking at the spring equinox. It's winter, fall, summer. So summer solstice, Taurus, Gemini are over the gap. Summer solstice is where the Michelangelo fingers meet, showing us the gap between Alaska, Canada, and Russia. That's why we've got Melanie Trump and Melanie from Russia, Melanie and Trump. So, oops, that's now gone on to the spring. That's what I wanted. So just come back to that for the summer. So Trump, Gemini, America, and Taurus, we've got Melanie making that gap. Fall equinox, winter. So winter, we see Gemini and Taurus are right on either side, and that is the winter solstice. And I want to see the spring. Oh. Spring. Okay, so spring is what everything is playing for, the ascendant. That's the true new world. And at that time, Gemini, where's Gemini? Is here over Australia, Asia, and there is Merlin. That's why we've got the lion in Singapore, the water lion, Merlin. So Gemini and Sagittarius, where's Sagittarius? Here, so yeah, and that's the Polo, Argentina, Silver Gate, owning the Silver Gates. Silver, Argent, Polo, Sagittarius, Gemini. Okay, so the 0 point should be Aquarius on this side of Africa for the spring equinox. Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, re-begins right here. And Mars, and that's why we've got Saudi Arabia, and right over here, Ra. Aries, keeping this new fifth element right here. Aries, between Taurus, the quintessential. It's just here, and that's why we've got Taurus fully in India. Fall equinox, winter. So for the winter, what we're living right now, we should see that Gemini is taking this area here, and Sagittarius. My eyes moving around. Where is Sagittarius? Scorpio, Sagittarius here. So Scorpio, Libra, that is the Phoenix rising, winter solstice, and the gap here, the Golden Gate is right on the tip, and the Silver Gate is here. So let's just look at these pictures. So here's the cyclone. Monstrous cyclone hits my yacht, body's lie afloat. There's the islands. The knowledge was brought back up again in Gemini. Took this from the video of Lars winter solstice. Boom. So we've got the EU right now going on, and that all began yesterday, the 18th, and that's what I'm going to be showing you, is that the sun went into Sagittarius, so left Scorpio. We get the sun going over the Golden Gate, Mercury and Venus on each side of the Golden Gate, and they normally rule. Mercury rules Gemini, Venus rules Taurus, and on the Silver Gate we've got the rulers of the Golden Gate, Jupiter that rules Sagittarius and Mars that rules Scorpio. So this inversion is also showing us the closing of the snake, the Ouroboros. It's showing us we've got Chiron, which is going to go from Pisces into Aries next year. And we have the North and the South node on the feminine axis of the mutable cross. North node in Pisces ruled by Jupiter, and South node in Virgo ruled by Mercury. And we have this very strong opposition of Mercury and Jupiter. And now Mercury is moving forwards. Jupiter won't move forward until next year. So EU summit, Macron skips EU summit to visit Cyclone, because all this, we have the 18th, the sun went from Scorpio, it was on the 17th, the 17th, the sun was in Scorpio, Ophiuchus, and then the sun moved into Sagittarius on the 18th. So the sun does move in on the 18th. And on this very day, we have so much big stuff that happens. I'm going to be showing you. So Macron skips the EU summit to visit the cyclone. And here they are showing you this new winter solstice angle right over. So the spring equinox should be here, Aquarius, and they're showing you they've now got the axis of Gemini, Sagittarius, the new cross, the new gap right here. Cyclone Chido, you know, the worst in a century, CC, Cyclone Chido. And I can't believe that, because I've just done in a post earlier on today, which is about the CC as well. Of course, 33. We got Aquarius in South America. That's the winter solstice. Here's Aquarius. And so Aquarius, NASA, North America, Capricorn, South America, Aquarius, the Twin Peaks is only for the winter solstice. It's not the true spring equinox. The spring equinox, so the spring equinox, we have the Twin Peaks, Aquarius that comes back to the 0 point in Africa, and Gemini is over here in Asia, and Sagittarius is in, that's when he can take South Africa. Sagittarius needs to take South Africa. Gemini is taking Asia and Australia. Put the Merlion up here, but they do not have anything on the spring equinox Africa, the 0 point set off Aquarius. And they've put raw Mars where Gemini is for the winter, right there. So Cyclone Chido hits Francis Mayotte, fears several, so now it's thousands in 90 years. So that's your 90-degree angle, the last leg between Saturn and Jupiter. 90 days. The French Prime Minister Michel Barnier, who is 73 years old, 73, 37 is L. So 73, 37, I'll be showing you all the pictures, is L. And 73 is also 37. The tilt, the axis of the tilt is 23.5. 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 2. And what did I work it out the other day? We'll get to it when I get to the pictures. I don't want to confuse you or myself. So look at this, poor people. So it is always, the people are missing every time people get hit, ever since the cyclone that I lived in New Zealand at the same time, which is all about the last time, all this. So interesting, the video I did with Lars as well. So 2023, February, 2023, February, we had Mars retrograde for the last time on the bullseye, on Taurus. And we had for the floods in New Zealand, Mars was bang on. And we had during January, around January the 27th, until that, we had the disappearance of Nicolas Bully, bullseye. And what do we have now today? We have the French case, the verdict came out today. I'm going to take you to see it, of this French woman who was raped by 51 men. As yesterday, the owner of Red Bull, I'll be showing you, who's 51, as this French woman was raped by 51 people. So 5 and 1 and 5 and 1 is 6-6. That's the Federation, the French Federation. It's FF. It's the Route de Memphis. This is the Route de Memphis. This is the Elvis. This is the 66. And it's funny because my parents, my mother was Gemini, my father was Taurus, and both of them were hippies, 1970s. Well, they weren't hippies, but they were hippie astrologers. Everyone read Linda Goodman's book. That's how I got into astrology as a child, because they both had the book, but they were only interested in where their sun sign was. So my mother thought she was Cancer. My father thought he was Gemini. So my mother hated Geminis, and my father hated Taurus people because his sister was Taurus. So my mother spent her whole life hating Geminis. And my father spent his whole life hating Taurus people, and my father was completely Taurus. You know, he had planets in Gemini. My mother had Pluto in Cancer. She was the Pluto in Cancer generation. But they were both born on the 6-6. So talk about leaving ourselves ways to know what we're going to have to talk about later in life. But this Silver Gate is very important. Prince William has his son here. Prince William is born on the 21st. And who was my first big lover that I called D'Artagnan? And he is born on the 21/6. We both had the same code on the telephone as well, which is also very interesting. We're going to tell you what that code is. But so this gap, so we'll come to all these news stories. I'm jumping ahead, but you'll see as I read through. So Nicolas Bully missing. So all these floods, the Caroline, the Cairo line floods is what's happening now, because now we have the Cairo floods that were on the full equinox. So bang on the full equinox, we had the Cairo floods, Mars on Sirius, Jupiter here, and now they make their journey back. Mars went to Cancer. Mars will come back here for the fertility festival coming up, and they will be back here on the 13th, 14th, 15th, Mars here. So don't forget, Notre Dame fell on the 15th of April, which is actually 2 months earlier, which is the fertility festival. That's what the 6-6 is again, FF, fertility festival. Valentine and Cupid, Valencia, the floods in Valencia, people missing. They're telling you. So look, so this is Matthew 66. Matthew 66, meaning, what does Matthew, what is the Bible? Find it quite so you won't be tempted. Just Matthew 66 Bible. Okay, well, this isn't quite the one I wanted. I think I wanted another Matthew, which was how I got onto this picture yesterday. It's about Jonah. And here we've got RB, Red Bull. It's just got a CBE given by Prince Charles yesterday. All this happened on the 18th. And you'll wait till you see what's going on in France with... So there's the island, there's the sun, there's the breast of Venus, there is the feminism, the Me Too bully, the rising as we have Uranus on Algol, the eye. And of course, Algol is all about algorithms. Yeah, I can never say that word, but it's all about algorithms. I was thinking that because I had to go over people that I was very close to, a mother and a daughter for many years here. The daughter did her journalist school this time as well, 2022. Or was it 2020? Yeah, it was in 2022. And they set me up. She said she wanted to do a report for her end of exam on algorithms. And I kept saying, look, I'm too hot. I'm already got enough problems in my life. I'm already targeted. I'll help you, but I won't do, you can't interview me about that for your journalist school. Anyway, she actually set me up as a conspiracy theorist, and which meant I got targeted, which meant I got tortured. And I was looking back at that because I've said, you know, vengeance is a dish best served cold. There's a thing going on at the moment. Anybody who's ever harmed me without me thinking or having any bad feelings, they get hit really badly. And I don't do anything. It just happens. So I was looking at our how she charmed me, and I was looking at this algorithms thing. Oh my God, it's algorithms. Yes, it's algol. Right, Uranus is right there. So this is that fifth element. It's the passage. This is the true merging of the cross. Taurus, Aries, Mars and Venus, Spirit, the fifth element. They're making it here in the Silver Gate. They're rising, so they're making this movement. Ra, Aries and Taurus, we just saw for the spring equinox. Aries and Taurus are here. Aquarius and Capricorn are here. The fixed and the cardinal signs should come together, but they're making the winter equinox. They're taking the winter equinox and marking their line here. Gemini, Taurus, and Sagittarius, and Scorpio, the Golden Gates. So that breast, the eye, the seventh Sinbad, dirty Diana. So with winds of more than 200 kilometers per hour, the people, they only live in little metal huts there. 90 years, of course, it's this 90-year angle, the 90 days. So Michel Barnier lost his post. They put a new man, Francois Bayrou, FB, who's also 73. So 3773 is the Vesica Pisces passage. Right. Okay, so we've got the 12, we've got the 5, and P. This is the Chiron in astrology. Okay. So I just finished reading that. So the full moon, Jupiter on bullseye as Gemini's over Africa, Madagascar, Mayotte, the island, Brest, Saint. So Saint is a play on the Seine, and the Seine is the river in the middle of Paris that got dirty Diana, the breast. The bullseye is moon exalted in Taurus. It's the breast of Venus. In the silver gate, Taurus, deer, Merlin, Gemini, the Merlion turned into a Me Too bulleye. Nicolas Bully missing. She, Bambi's mother, Diana, killed. So the father, stag. I've got all this wrong. So the father stag takes the gap between Taurus, Gemini, is Merlin, Merlion, the A-lion. So yeah, all this stuff going on with drones, this whole drone, everyone going, Project Bluebeam, la la la, A-lion, a drone seen. So what mysterious drone? So all this happened at the same time. They're just showing you the gap. And everyone, nobody can see what's really going on. It's just showing you the gap. So this happened 3 days ago. So this is all exactly the same timing as the sun moves. Let's come back to now. As the sun moves through the gap. So 3 days ago. 16, so Ophiuchus, the gap opposite Merlin, that is your gap. Golden gates, silver gate, we've got the moon, full moon opposite each other, showing us the gap, the galactic gap, the GG, 7, 7, 2 sevens make a triangle. 2 sevens, 7, 7, and in each angle you've got 7, 7, 7, which makes 21, which is 12, and 2 is B, and A is 1, which is Abba. AB, BA, Abba, Abby, Appy, the Ab, Appy, the bull gods. Okay, so we saw all the pictures there, I think. Did we? So there's your Abby, it's your third eye, the triangle. That's why in I Pet Goats, she's holding the apple below her. So that it's going from the eyes, the whore's eyes on, down below into her stomach, when the triangle should be from the eyes to make the cap, to make the capstone of the Philosopher's Stone. But what does William Tell do? He breaks the apple with his arrow. There he is, which upside down is the whale's tail. Go backwards because Taurus, the bullseye, and there we had the big machine in Toulouse. Remember that? That was in 2019 on St. Paul's Cathedral, the breast of Venus. We have Father Christmas, Paul Watson taking, so Paul Watson has been freed. That's why we've got a lot to look. I'm just going to show you all the pictures of the posts I've done to prepare for this. So Free Willy, got Prince William Orion with his arm coming up, the eye, and so this is India, where Gemini will be. We've got the green man, Taurus, Pan, and we've got their Vedic cow in India. So Gemini on the spring, well, on the spring equinox, we've got Taurus, Gemini, the gap just here. The other way, the green line, it's the green line. That's the green line. That's why we've got that picture of Prince William and the lamppost that I show you. It's in other pictures you'll see at the coronation of the king. And we had some big rapper singer with his ears covered. And Prince William with all the children. Mercury next to the black man, Taurus. Taurus is Black Earth, Africa. So we've got the woman, this is a very good picture of that woman, the green and the red ram. There's the winter triangle, Silverlocks, we've got Goldilocks and Silverlocks, the two exits. That's why Charlotte Dujardin has been banned, showing you the gap. Taurus in the gap, and now we've got the big Gemini, the gingerbread man, the ginger cats, the smiley ginger cat, Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots kills the egg, the third eye. So there's Api, the bull god, and there is the stag that takes the place. So the Kai, doe, storm, so that the roe deer, the masculine, and there exactly Mars currently in Cancer. So the Sun, Jupiter currently in Taurus, the silver gates. And there is Prince William receiving his red cape of Saint Martin de Tours, Mars and Jupiter, with Bill Gates. Bill Gates, that's the true Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn, officially giving him, and there is, I put 1970, but Prince William is born in 1982. I get confused. That was the birthday of my boyfriend, D'Artagnan. I called him D'Artagnan. Merlin. And there's Saint Saturnin being killed by Saint Martin de Tours behind a Taurus. So leave the world behind. They're showing you the gap. They're showing you the galactic gap. And there it's all about the N, the North Polaris. So the new Prime Minister in France. Where is he the mayor from? Where does he come from? Directly in front of me, poor the North Polaris. So there's a big scandal going on that he didn't want to leave Pau to come to Paris. Matignon, PM, Prime Minister. P is 16, M is 13. But what is 13? 13 is a 1 and a 3, which makes the B. So P is 16, B is 2. 216 is the summer solstice. This is the line, the Nile. This is the North Polaris spin, which in French is the baleine, is a whale, the Prince of Wales, the whales, Free Willy, pull, pole, what sun, the who, what sun, what, the water, what's, the what's. So P is 16 and B, so normally Paddington Bear, BP, but M can be the B2 because M is 13 and 1 and 3, and this cyclone just happened as the sun was in Ophiuchus, the 13th sign. Okay. So that was the full moon chart that we had. So we still have Pluto and Venus together. Venus rules Taurus, where Jupiter is. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter rules Pisces. So we know we've now got Neptune moving forward. Neptune is conjunct to the North Node. This is what's going to make the big splash. Well, that's what made this cyclone, the splash. And South Node, so Mercury rules Virgo, Jupiter rules Pisces, and at that time, Mercury was still retrograde, opposite Jupiter, still retrograde. Mercury is now moving forward, and since then the Sun has moved here. And here for the, so this is the cyclone on the 14th, and here we've got a big trine between Mars and Mercury and North Nodes. Do we have that big trine here too? Yep, we've got between Mars, Mercury, and Chiron. Oh, no, and North Node. So that big trine was there too. And we've got the bang on conjunction of Jupiter, which is so important. So they were both opposite the Sun and Mercury, marking this. The Sun was right in that gap. The Sun, the child, the Free Willy, marking the Sun to take that eye. Okay, let's go through some more posts. The Sun entered Sagittarius for the winter Golden Gate solstice yesterday, the 18th of December. Sun sits on the dart of D'Artagnan. So let's come back to the 18th. And there is the Sun, bang on the dart. So Sagittarius is law, Libra is justice. But this is the hero, the lawmakers. This is D'Artagnan, Zorro. One sec. That was Knack. He plays a game where he stops Floyd going out of his cat flap. He blocks the path. They play a game. They love each other, but it's poor Floyd. He doesn't like it. Right, so there's the sun. 18th. So the sun entered yesterday. The sun sits on the dart of D'Artagnan, Valentine, Zorro, Batman, Paris. On this 18th, Emmanuel Macron will not attend Thursday's European Council meeting in Brussels as he heads to Mayotte, a French overseas territory in the Indian Ocean, coping with the aftermath of the devastating tropical cyclone. On the 18th, the leaders of the European Union and the Western Balkans held the annual summit on the 18th of December. So we had the EU adopting the Brussels Declaration, which assessed that the strategic partnership between the EU and the Western Balkans is more important than ever and reaffirmed the EU membership perspective for the region. In the press conference following the meeting, new momentum for enlargement was emphasised. So Jupiter enlargement, and Brussels is the bottom of the chakra system. Notre Dame, is the seven chakras is what that alchemy that I posted, and I showed you that the seventh work was Notre Dame on the Ile Saint-Louis. So, President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, said that the timing of yesterday's summit could not have been better. Well, yeah, the sun was on the dart. So as 51-year-old Red Bull chief was honoured with a CBE speaking at Buckingham Palace alongside his wife Spice Girls singer Jerry Halliway Horner, the 51-year-old Red Bull team principal said being made a CBE was humbling, adding it's a huge privilege to receive an honour like this. At the same time, the Me Too bully feminist won as the French rape case ends after 51 men accused of rape. The prosecution asked on Monday that Dominique Pellicot be given the maximum sentence of 20 years in prison for drugging and raping his then wife. So law, the sun arrives, D'Artagnan, the saviours. So this is massive Me Too bully, bullseye, Red Bull winning, and the Me Too feminists. So the whole world is way for this little woman against her husband, when at the same time every single day on French radio I listen to Brigitte. Well, I don't listen to it, but if I'm in my car, that is what it plays. Brigitte Lahaye, Sud France. So this is every single day. I've never seen what she looks like. Is that what she looks like? Oh my God. That's what she looks like. She's showing her little fingers. Oh, so for the past 20 years, she talks about sex from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock every single afternoon. And basically all the ads that come on is libertine. So this is all about liberation. This is Liber 777, Aleister Crowley, where all the libertines, France is the centre. There is your Holy Grail passage through the Vesica Pisces of the Yoni, and that is your 21 backwards. We should go out the 12th door, Pisces, flip to 21. The capstone ruled by Neptune, Keter at the top of the Tree of Life, and that 77 makes that triangle. 777 is when liberation, and this is what this, so at the same time everyone say, oh, she's been raped, but at the same time they're merging this brave new world. Everyone has sex together, nobody has relationships, and you are in trouble if you want to have a commitment to anybody. So she pushes that on the radio every day. You would not have anything like it. And it all seems really rather good. And she seems like just too good to be true and lovely. And she doesn't look, I imagined her with dark hair and very serious. But she's obviously herself looks like a libertinist. So we've got the whole Jupiter on the bullseye. The French rape case ends after 50. So Giselle Pellicot and recruiting others to rape her. The prosecutor told the court in Avignon that the prison term, so sur le pont d'Avignon, on the bridge, Bridget Jones, at the same time, too much and too little in view of the seriousness of the act. So yesterday, the 18th, we went from cold Scorpio Mars to hot Sagittarius Jupiter. Jupiter ruler of Sagittarius is on the red bullseye. Nicolas Boulay, the passage from winter solstice to New Year is upon us, with a second new moon in Sagittarius this 30th of December, and France is still waiting for a new parliament. So this I'll take you to, but France is the big crazy. Moon went from Cancer to Leo, Solomon, passage, Neptune sits direct on the whale's tail. This is the disco ball dance of the baleine. So disco in French is déesse, goddess, the rising of the female energy, déesse. So to say disco in French, you say D-E-S, déesse, goddess, chairman, C-O. So that famous 70s song, D-I-S-C-O, D-S, so it's a French song. So the spin Pau, the new prime minister comes from Pau. The Pau de Dana, Diana, Aden, the tribe of Dana, the big flood storms we had in Valencia was Dana, Diana, Paris, Matignon, Pau, Wales, Wilhelm, Telltale Splash. Yesterday the sky was, so yesterday we had 20 degrees, very hot, thick spraying in the sky, and today the wind and the storm, and it's going to hit in Corsica at Cap Corse. So we had Cyclone, Kaido, and now Cap Corse, 3333. Like Cape Cod, so always to kill 88, that energy of 88, 888. Got 666 777 888, so people don't make that frequency. And the temperature rose 10 degrees, so today the wind could blow at CC33 Cap Course, like Cape Cod, where Madison the Mermaid was found, splash in 1964. 8-year-old Alan Bauer and his family are taking a boat tour of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Alan is fascinated by something below the surface and jumps overboard. Even though he cannot swim in the ocean, he encounters a young girl, and when they hold hands, he inexplicably finds himself able to breathe underwater. However, Alan is rescued and pulled back to the surface, and the two are separated. Since no one else saw the girl, Alan comes to believe the encounter was a near-death hallucination. After the boat pulls away, the young girl is revealed to be a mermaid. So these are just pictures. So I've got there, he's 73 years old. This is William Telltale Revolution coming, and all of Paris, everyone's in front of the government because there's no government he's meant to elect, but Prime Minister, the President Emmanuel Macron has gone to Mayotte, the island, and Francois Bayrou. So we had this, extreme conservative, he's the middle, he's the green line. Bayrou is meant to be the middle energy. So again, there he is, the team boss of Red Bull, and he's showing the fixed cross, the Maltese cross. So this is today, Jupiter on the bullseye. Odyssey 2001 to now is 23 years. And we have 20 years of Pellicot. So everyone is putting all over how happy they are, but they don't realize that there is a reason that Nicolas Bully went missing, and now the Me Too bully feminist is risen. And there's your Neptune, your Pole, Pete and Paul, and Denmark is, of course, Dana, the tribe of Dan. And so we've got the alert today. The winds have come in. Strong winds at Cap Course CC. 180 is in direct opposition And we had the moon last night on the little past, the little prince, the past, the claws of Cancer. We had a conjunction yesterday for the 18th of Moon and Mars conjunct. So that was, you know, where all this stuff happened. All this stuff happened to bring up this vengeance energy. Mars rules Scorpio. Mercury is in Scorpio and Mercury rules Gemini, where Mars is going to come back to. This is going to be the merging, the singularity, taking this galactic gap, this line, and Mars and Jupiter, Saint Martin, coming back to own this silver gate, so that for the birthday of Prince William, when the sun is back on here, this is that energy of the inversion of the anima and the animus. Mars should partner with the sun, not the moon. Venus should partner with the moon. So that is the chart of today. We've got Pluto opposite Mars. We've got Neptune and the North Node still opposite each other. We've got this cross, and we've got Jupiter bang opposite now, Mercury moving forwards. And the sun, we've got this triangle between Mars, Uranus and the sun, and that energy of anger rising, square between 90-degree angle between Saturn and Jupiter. So that is your splash. There is the sun on the darts. It's an old picture of Lars, anger. So toxic love, toxic hate, and the middle pillar. We need the middle pillar. So this is very much that toxic hate, the Mars and Moon conjunct. What happened to you yesterday? You've got, with my group of women tomorrow, we are going to be chatting about that Mercury retrograde. You know, I'm not out in the world, but even I get hit with, you know, I had this story coming back after 2 years ago with this girl. It was them coming back, but I know a lot of people had lots of stories, so I'm going to talk with the girls about the stories tomorrow. Brilliant, you can read that. So there is your 77721, Liber. That's what I'm showing you. It's the Liber, libertine, you know, sexual liberty. That's what she does. My goodness. She's a right little sexy pot. So she is every single day, she never misses a series. Every single day she helps France to, you know, get into sodomy and libertinism and the kind of thing you would not hear on English radio at all, but it's absolutely normal. I mean, children hear it, everybody hears it. It's just talking all about sex. So Podan, that's the new Prime Minister is the Mayor of Pau, and that is where the North Polaris is. Paul Watson, Michel Barnier was 73, and that makes the L, the princess. So we've got free Paul Watson, free the Willy, free the energy, the siren, the Little Mermaid, Neptune with his crown. Keter is the crown, Neptune conjunct to the North Node. There is Neptune and that fifth element. So they've got him when we know that fifth element is where Uranus is, here between Taurus and Aries. Sirius, so this is what's been replaced. This is the crown, the grail that used to be the crown or at Notre Dame, and now they've got the eye. So there's the eye that's replaced it. So La N, This is the showing you the Florida I talk about all the time. I'm just not going to go back. So N, that is N. N is also the Z when you flip it. NZ, Lucifer rising. And this is Kenneth Anger, Lucifer rising. Here we go. So if you, and there he is, there is the gap showing you Taurus, Gemini, and the gap and the children. The children will be the singularity, bang in the middle, the green line. And that is exactly where he has his sun and exactly what they're showing us. They've got the winter solstice, that Gemini is in Africa, the children of Africa. There we've got the EU, we have got riding in on her bull, Europa, and Zorro always with his woman. The Z is the N. The Z is the N. The French film La Boum, like Basil Fox, the fox, Basil Fawlty. Basil, I showed you, is the basilic. It's the basil, it's the I showed you the importance. That's boom boom, the red fox in alchemy. So there is your North Polaris, the two axis, the main pole, the galactic gap is the central Polaris, and then you've got Polaris and Vega. So the Polaris is off, the central galactic line is in the middle. 23-degree tilts times makes 47, makes 74, or just 46 divided with 2 makes 23, makes 32, 322. My postcode here is 322. So the Who, the Bullseye, the Dirty Diana, they take Sagittarius, Gemini, Valentine and Cupids. And there he's got his Hawaii 50, the 50, the gap, the whale's tail taking the new cross in the gap. The gap. And there, 37, 73. And so 7, 8, 9, 10. What was I thinking about? 2, 3, 5, 23, 24, 5, 6, 7, 28. I can't remember. We'll see it in one of my posts. So this post from 2 days ago explains the A lion, Leon, Elon, Noel, lone, A line, Nile, alien crap. So all that crap is just to distract you. They're talking about the gap. The pole, so the Matignon, North Polaris line, pole, Paul, Watson is Free Willy, Will.i.am, Prince of Wales, Wales. In French Wales, the country is Gaule. So the Gaulois, this is the Celtics, this is the Visitors, the famous French film, The Visitors, which is the aliens. I've always told you. There he is holding his wand of Merlin, this film where they go back in time in the gap. And it's meant to be funny, and it's, you know, it's basically about these, they've got them, see, between the two pillars. Wow, they've even got the Abba. I told you, the Aleph Bet, 1221. 1221, exactly what I'm showing you. The Visitors, the song album, Abba, The Visitors. Wow. Oh, well, there's also a horror movie, The Visitors, of course. Okay, so the Celtics, the Visitors, the Balen, the North Polaris spin world, the drones, fake line, Lian, Nile. Lian is a link, makes the triangle, capstone, 77721, galactic gap, the new A-Lion, Nile, Neil, climbs underwater. So there's your Paul Watson, and you've got the two tilts. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So what am I going? 23.5, 23 to 4, 5, 6, 7, 28. Why am I putting 37 here? I can't remember what my thinking was. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 23, 24, 25, 6, 7, so I'm not sure what I'm thinking. 20, 37, not sure what happened. So there we've got Osiris, the keeper of the four corners, Sirius, spring and autumn equinox, and the winter and the summer. And that's why you've got to go and see Lars's video. Join Patreon. So these guys, 73, there's your L, there's your 90 degree, 90 days it took to put him, and now we've got this guy looking through the window, looking through the frame. 37, Beatrice Dahl, she was following me on Facebook, I blocked her. 73, 37 is the Solomon. So we had we just had the moon going from between Cancer and Leo. That is right now, I think. Yeah, moon has just gone through Solomon here, and so we've got all the anger going on, we've got all the, and that is exactly what that is about, that star. 37, 73, 33, it's CC, Sagittarius, Gemini is the current spring, autumn equinoxes, which is in fact the summer-winter solstice. And we're going on to Taurus, Scorpio, we're going on to Taurus, Scorpio, Taurus, Scorpio is going to become the new, and the original cardinal is Cancer, which is also Cancer, Capricorn, your CC. So there's the Yoni, there she is, the World Tarot card. The Twin Towers fell to give us the World Trade Center, the World card, the Vesica Pisces, and there he is in that gap. The age of Pisces is ending, the capstone, Holy Grail, and that is the aeroplane that went missing, which was 370 MH 13 and 8. M can also be the B, which is 28. So 703, 3773, there's all your Hebrew letters giving us that last all for this little Amygdala, Mary Magdalene, and that is the Pic de Midi in front of me. That is the mountain picnic at Hanging Rock. So today, as new parliament is announced, this is on the 17th, right now, moon on Pollux, the Lord of the Rings. So on the 17th, the moon was on Pollux to announce the Lord of the Rings, the boxer, the bullseye. And then we had on the 18th, the bullseye, the sun moves onto the darts. And Jupiter, the ruler of the dart, Sagittarius, is on the bullseye. So talk about creating. So just as that, we had the big news. Michel Barnier, 73 and 90 days later, L7 right angle between Jupiter, Saturn, 90 degrees, new president, French president elected, and they are both 73, ACA 7337, L, the triangle. So huge demonstration. So the 5th Regiment of helicopters, they were all up in the sky here. North Polaris, Father Christmas, Free Willy. So yeah, we don't need to go more into that, but there was a big scandal going on that he wasn't going to go to Matignon in Paris. He prefers to stay here, showing us the new line. Okay, so this post, Beth too stands between the pillars of the Beiji, Boaz jacking, she is the high priestess, Jane Birkin, James Bond, B is 2, J is 10, and 12, 21. So B2, J10, that's 21, 12, BJ. And in 2001, that's 21, 12. The year the faulty towers fell, the pillars fell to make 1, 2, 1. 2 is B, 1 is A. Abba, Abba World Tarot Trade Center. 1 singular unicorn. And if you go and see Lars's video, you'll understand the unicorn. BJ, Diary of Bridget Jones, was released in 2001, and in 2018, Yellowstone came out. BJ, Beth versus Jamie Boaz. Jacqueline Beth. So I didn't know that. It's just looking at the pictures. I see there's a BJ Beth versus Jamie in this Yellowstone. So this is the new girl. She fell. The pillars fell. The Bridget Jones energy fell. And now we've got Beth. There was a little girl who had a little curl. And they're showing us this new feminist Me Too woman. So BD, Beth Dutton, BD. You pronounce BD in French, biddy, and biddy is BD, which is a toilet, B2, D4, and B is 2, D is 4, which is Jupiter's symbol. Jupiter, and the Y of Taurus, as Jupiter is in Taurus, is the Yellowstone Y. So that came out in 2001, just before the towers fell. And you've got her between the two pillars of good and evil. Good and evil, the BJ, October the 10th, 2001. It was released. So you've got, mystery, upright and reverse blocked, the BJ, and there you've got Gemini. So they're showing you this new gap in Mayotte. So the release dates, we had April, Bridget Jones Diary. So BD, like Bridget, like Beth Dutton with the J, the Joker in the middle. So Beth is number 2. Beth means division. Aleph is 1. And now we've got the girl ruling division, the twins. So there's a BJ here, Beth and Jamie. I notice when I see clips that his face is not never real. They both look like they're not real anymore. Torso is about tangible, real flesh, and Gemini is giving us this virtual reality where you can see that they're not like in Avatar. That's no longer real humans. There she is between the pillars, and there is the constellation of Taurus and the twins and Taurus. Twins and Taurus, the moon goddess. There's your wife, the Yellowstone. There's a toilet, B-Day, BJ, Jupiter, Tin, Mars, and Jupiter is Martin. So the arc 42, you need the hole at the pyramids, 42. Symbol for the Olympics. Evil, good, left. So Boaz and Jacqueline. Saturn is, they've got Saturn, this energy of Saturn. You've got to get through the gap. Saturn, Earth energy. Jupiter is in Earth. He wants to take that energy. So this is that last super triangle. Path 13, Keter. You've got to find the 13th. You've got to get through the gates that we're going through. You've got to get through. Empress is the high priestess. There she is. Which is 13, which is not this 13th sign, Ophiuchus. Okay. So this is just about Mona Lisa, ML. So this shooting in the Big Apple, Brian was shot. New York, orange, big apple. You know, this is the apple by Luigi Manigone. So Brian Thompson, that's brain. It's your crane, it's your top. It's where they put the apple. And he's called Luigi. So we've been flipped from ML to LM. So there we've got 2112. Mona, hormonal, monal. A is 1, M is 1, N is 1, Z is 1. So A, and you've got the key is that 1 between the two directions of Red Bull, red and blue. So ML, Martin Luther. And that G7, there you've got G is 7, so 777 makes the 21. Lee Miller, Free Luigi we've got now, and 21 in hand signed is that 90 degree. Again, that last angle, Lisa Manelli. Okay, we're coming to the end of my filling in, but this is just one last thing I was looking at. That we've got these guys, Caroline Bassett, CB 23, C is 3, 2, so that's the 32 paths of wisdom, or the 30. So I was thinking that they really play the true twin peaks energy, Capricorn and Aquarius. So I was just having a quick peek at CB 32 paths of wisdom, Caroline, Nile, Bassett, and JFK. JFK is the summer solstice. J is 10, Akka 1, F is 6, and K is 1, Akka 2. So 216, JFK Jr., jellyfish, diaphragm cut, crash, plane crash in 1999. I'll go deep over this weekend. Haven't looked at their charts yet, so that's something to do sometime. So, but I have looked here at the plane crash. What strikes me is the couple they make as the true twin peaks. Capricorn cardinal feminine earth and father air masculine fixed Aquarius. Kronos and Rhea as the mother earth Capricorn, cynical, ambitious, cool, sophisticated, ambitious, Inanna, nanny goat, Capricorn, queen of heaven, and earth, Rhea, archetype, and he is Aquarius, Uranus, father air, visionary, unconventional, genius, trendsetter, intellectual, pilot, air, Uranus, both officially ruled by Saturn, side by side, the true NASA, North America, Capricorn and South America, Aquarius, true energy, killed, so the gangsters, the Jupiter and Mercury, Batman, Robin, Trump and D'Artagnan could steal the show, and in England, the Will.i.am son from Charles and Diana. So these pics were just my reflections on that. The alchemical wedding, you couldn't get that image, Kronos and Rhea. So 1999, July the 16th, and that, you know, Martha's Vineyard. So the sun was on Pollux. Sun was on Pollux, July the 16th, 1999. 1999, July 16th. So the sun was right on the tip of July 7. The sun was on Pollux, the Lord of the Rings. The moon was on Regulus, as it was for the falling of Notre Dame. Well, the moon was actually still in Leo. Venus was on Regulus. Venus rules Taurus. Saturn was in Aries. Jupiter was right on the eye, just in Aries, on the eye at the end. And Mars was in Virgo. So Massachusetts, isn't that where we just saw that the Little Mermaid splash, Cape Cod? Jupiter. Friday, July the 16th, Friday is Venus Day. We had a black moon. So we were just about to have the moon, the sun. We just had a new moon in Pollux. There had been a new moon right on the Lord of the Rings. And Jupiter, so they were each Jupiter and the sun and the moon and Venus here, they were again on that either side, and Saturn in Aries in full, Saturn is exalted in Libra opposite. So a hunt for the spring equinox and summer solstice. So here we've got again the Polaris, Vega, and that central point comes up and touches where I live, the North Polaris. So that is bang where I live, the Pyrenees right here, that line takes us to 0. So we are here before we get fully on, but you can see we're not completely on Aquarius yet. So these pictures are great. Got the BJ pillars, the sun and the moon, and Ophiuchus, the 13th sign, taking the top, and this gap that we've got to get through, rising out of the ashes, Jupiter, Saturn, and we've got to get past this gap. And here we've got Mercury and Venus and Mars merged into one. And you can stop and look at that. Lars is showing the true solstice and equinox, that the true new year is between that silver and golden gates. So I let you read that, and I think that's it. Okay, darlings, this video will go onto Patreon, and then I'll probably put it onto YouTube afterwards. Tomorrow we're meeting with the girls. Monday I'm meeting with Alana for Patreon, and we will be doing a so we're coming up to the last quarter, so I think just after the solstice I will talk the last quarter with Alana, and we are going to talk about the gates. We're going to talk about the Pope and the gates. This is a big thing. This is something big that I need to cover, the gates and the Pope, because I actually dreamt the 5 gates. Vatican to open 5 sacred portals. Oh my God, when was this? December the 11th, yeah. So I had a dream about 2 doors. So this is the 5, this is the 5th element. Oh my God. Wait. Vatican to open, New York Post. To open 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve for a ritual that's never been done before. So Christmas Eve is on the 24th, December the 24th. Oh my God, moon on Spiker. Everyone's talking about blue beam, and this is just after the last quarter moon. So the last, well, I would think actually that last quarter moon is going to be, if this is right, so it's going to be, this is it, the last quarter moon. So I'll be talking on the Monday. Well, that is, for the opening of these gates, I'm going to be talking with Alana. My goodness, he's opening these gates. Wow. Mercury on Antares. Bang. Okay, so that is enormous. That is enormous. The fifth gate, the fifth element is here as Uranus is on that true, on Algol. So I had a dream about 2 doors. I didn't have 5, I just had 2. And they had this incredible decoration. One was yellow, one was black. So that's your banana, that's your inanna. That is this gap between Capricorn and Sagittarius, merging the cardinal and the mutable signs. Jubilee year in the Catholic calendar. Okay. The door was closed with bricks following the celebration of the Jubilee year of the Divine Mercy in 2016, of course, the summer solstice. So Bridget Jones fell, and now Beth Dutton, the new Virgo energy, Mercury, and Mercury is in Scorpio to bring up this vengeance energy, as Mars is in the home. Mars, the ruler of Scorpio, is in Cancer, bringing up this, this toxic male anima and this powerful new animus. So it's always about, that's why in 2016, Kate and William came to the chateau next to me. It's this summer solstice, 216. 16 is P, 2 is B, or M is 13, is the 1, and the 3 makes the B. So we've got all the MP going on between Matignon, Paris, PM, MP. Okay, well, I'll be talking about that with Alana. And I love you all very much, and talk to you next week. Bye. Yep, good thing I didn't stop it completely. Come for readings, 20% off still if you use the code Amazing Grace. And voila, bisous.